Oh my gosh, that music just never gets old. I'm sitting in the background. I'm like dancing. I'm like vibing to it. Hey. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Survivor Now podcast and welcome to the Survivor 46 after show. My name is Randy Bruce, and today I'm joined by my always trusted Survivor expert himself, Eric Abraham from season 41. And Abraham is at Applebee's today. Well, Applebee's over in Austin, yeah.
I was wanting some Applebee's, man. I don't know why, but I felt like some Applebee's. So I had to switch it up for this episode and put that Applebee's in there, guy. That's what I'm saying. That's all I'm gonna say. Nothing else. I don't know why I got it there. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. There's no reason whatsoever that Applebee's. You know what? We're not gonna waste any time. We're gonna get to talking about everything, but real quick, let's take a quick look at the big talking point from tonight's episode.
Liz, do you feel comfortable talking about what you're feeling?
I'm pissed! Y'all say you ain't gone without eating? I see you eat every day! You almost blew up my whole game! You overshadowed everything I was trying to do! And I said it's cool! I didn't say nothing! I don't even want to be around y'all! I'm just cute! You blew up my whole freaking spot! I didn't even know about the damn split vote last night.
Well, Liz, you voted for me last night, so. I made decisions based off where my head is right now in the game. I'm sorry.
I'm over it now. Thank y'all for letting me have that. I feel better. I just exploded. I'm sorry. Back to your regularly scheduled program.
Okay, and back to the regularly scheduled program. So there you saw the entire scene. Obviously, one of the biggest scenes, if not the biggest scene of the entire season. Abraham, we've got comments in the chat, people are commenting in the chat right now. If you guys want to join the live chat, the Ancient Voices, go ahead. Let us know what you guys think. Abraham, give us your analysis, that's what I'm trying to say, of what you thought about this whole moment, this whole breakdown from Liz.
First of all, I'm like, thank goodness somebody finally broke down. Here's the thing. Survivor is brutal, but at the end of the day, you're still playing a game. It says outwit, outplay, outlast. I'm not taking you on the food either. So it makes no difference. I'm like, look, okay, well, you was allergic to everything before you got out here. You already knew what the situation was. But we're playing and competing. If I can keep you weaker or if I can keep you down, guess what? You will be there. And I mean, Q was playing his game. He rationalized who he wanted to bring with him, which is two of his old tribe mates. And rightly so, he brought Maria because Maria was the only one who even checked up on him when he was, hanging out on the beach.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with how people play the game. I don't find it if somebody denies you food, we're playing the game for $1 million. Excellent. But I also enjoyed the fact that she went supernova and she spoke her mind and she wasn't at risk of being voted out for it. Like Jeff said, hey, it's going to be emotional. I think a lot of other people. Now, I will tell you what was interesting. When Venus went to step to console her, Venus stepped over, then she was like, no.
She stopped. No, right decision. If you guys didn't catch that, it's literally, I'm so happy you brought that up, Abraham. It was such a funny moment because Venus was going to basically comfort her and immediately was like, you know what? No, let her have her moment. And here's something that I liked about it. I don't blame Liz whatsoever. I know there's
Oh,
a lot
no.
of people. We'll get to the chat in a second. There's people in the chat, poor sportsmanship, stuff like that. You got to remember these people are starving. Liz specifically, like I get what Abraham's saying. Like you knew what you're in for. You're allergic to coconut and all this. So you have to know going out there that you're not going to be able to eat this stuff. That doesn't change the fact that you've had zero sleep, almost zero sleep. You're starving. I could understand being so pissed off in that moment. I was like, I'm shocked we don't see this more. And I even tweeted about it, I think on my own personal X account, where it's like, this is one of the most genuine moments that I've seen in a long time. Like she could have easily, Jeff could have asked that question, and then it could have easily been like, Jeff, I'm just mad. But that was genuinely how she felt in the moment, to be like, I'm pissed. I haven't ate anything. And the fact that you not only get to choose one person, two people, but three people to join you on this. And I was actually shocked when Jeff said Q, after he chose Maria, which was his second choice, when Jeff goes, Q, you get one more pick. I thought it was a no. I was thinking in the back of my mind.
No,
okay,
wait a minute, hold on. Why would you think it was a no-brainer to take Liz when she voted for him?
Because just from a personal side of things, like you see this woman breaking down. I respect Q from the fact that he was like, look, this is a game. I've got moves that I have to be making. And I did think in the back of my head, maybe he'll choose Kinsey to try to get the Yanu 3 back together. But I was still shocked when he said, Kinsey, I'm choosing you, because I don't know how many people would do that, seeing a woman break down right in front of them. I don't know how many people.
So what you're saying, Randy, what you're saying is you would choose Liz because you see that she's been food deficient right now. Even when she voted for after she voted for you, the previous tribal council, she voted to vote you out. So she's not going your way. She's already expressed that you're not the one on the top of her calendar. So you're going to feed her because you are emotionally saying, I see that she's struggling. Even though she's voted you out, voiced her opinion, and then she had a super meltdown. So he could have said, you know what? Won't somebody switch out and go with them? No, you playing Survivor. You're going to be hungry. And if you look at it, really, that's the biggest reward. We hadn't had Applebee's in 5 seasons.
I was going to get to that, Abraham. This is what we need more of. I keep saying it every single season when people are like, we can't do the old rewards that we used to do, where you can get in a helicopter and you can go skydiving, or you can get on a yacht. CBS isn't wanting to spend that money. I get that. I get the argument. This is the type of reward. These are the type of rewards that we need more of. And it's an easy opportunity for CBS to load those heavy pockets even more. You just get people to advertise your rewards. This week we're having Applebee's. This week we have Steak and Shake. You know how many people want Applebee's now because of this episode? You have a woman crying about Applebee's. You have Jeff doing his, they have this bourbon burger and this bourbon chicken and this spinach artichoke dip, doing his best to advertise Applebee's. You should be doing rewards like this. As soon as he said Applebee's, I lost my mind, Abraham. I was like, yes, let's go. When was the last time we had it? It was 41.
41 to have Applebee's.
One of the new era seasons had, let us know in the comments, one of the new era seasons had Applebee's. I think it was 41.
Well, it was so long
ago.
Or
42. It was one of the
remember two. Who had Applebee's. But here's the thing. It just adds to the layer of the show itself. We got a great show out of Applebee's, because at the end of the day, the connection between her daughter and Applebee's and the reason why she loves Applebee's and what it means to her, that's a great part of the true person that plays the game of Survivor. Now, the game part of Survivor says that you won't get to taste none of this Applebee's, none of it, not a burger, not a fry, because at the end of the game, you're trying to get to the end of the game. And Liz is playing a game that she almost was voted out when she first started the game, because she sat on her own pedestal. She was like, hey, I got this, I got that. I'm just here. So you set that up. Now in motion, We want to see how it all plays out. So we love that outburst. And you're right. I'm surprised we don't hear more of an outburst, but also people are trying to temper themselves so they don't get voted out because they done said something kind of crazy. And then Liz herself said, I apologize. And Q was like, I'm not going to take an apology out here. And he shouldn't. You playing the game.
This cast has been aggressive, and we're going to get to some of that, a little bit later in the show. We're going to talk about how this cast has been interacting with each other. But I will say, you did ask me, Abraham, and I forgot to answer it. You know, would you, in that position, would you be taking Liz? You know, and in this case, this would not be a smart decision from me. No. I get it. She just voted for me. This is where human Randy would come out. Yes, I would 1,000% I would have chosen Liz in that. I don't think she would have been my first choice. Might have been my second, but as soon as Jeff goes, you get one more. I already got who I think's my main ally, who I want to rebuild the bridge with. Let's say it's you, Abraham. I need to fix this bridge, me and Abraham. I'll pick you. And then maybe there's that person who was just super nice to me. Okay, Matthew, I'm going to choose you because you were there for me when I needed you. But as soon as Jeff Probst goes, you get one more. Yeah, at that point, I'm taking Liz. It's a weak part of my game, but at that point, it's the decision I'm making.
I'm going to tell you right now, look, first of all, the medical team is there. So if after 18 days you're exhibiting a situation where you need medical attention, the medical team will handle that. But we're competing. You have to win the challenge in order to be in that position to pick anybody. And I guarantee if the shoe was on the other foot and she won the challenge, Q wouldn't have been in.
Oh, Q would not have been picked. But I will say,
we're saying because tears, that's what your emotional side is saying. Because you saw tears, you're going to change your entire game because you saw tears.
Yeah, I told you it's a weak part of my game.
You can't even be in my lines, guy. You can't even be in my lines.
Yeah, let's get to real quick. Let's get to some of these comments real quick. I know the fans have probably been waiting to see their comments. Nikki adds in extremely poor sportsmanship.
We're not playing basketball. We're not playing hockey. We're not playing any other type of sports. We're competing in a game that requires you to be strategic, and not letting somebody eat some food that was going to vote you out anyway is a strategy. It ain't going to do with sportsmanship.
Let's see. Frank adds in, felt like watching the trailer for a true crime episode.
I get that one. That was a good one.
Let's see. Jean says, does she think they are going to give her granola bars or something? Why even go on the show if you can't eat? You know, it's still her dream. It's definitely still her dream to go out there. Frank adds in, the edit did her dirty. This ain't no time to sleep, Ben, while Liz crying and using machete to strike her flint. I'm sure the fourth wall was on high alert. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff here about and then we do have some comments about the Tiffany elimination. We will get to that here in a little bit. Yeah, it was definitely raw. They go back to the sanctuary, and Abraham, it looked good. On a side note, and the fact that they didn't even eat the burgers, my heart.
Look, Jeff, I would have to say, work on your edit from asking Charlie how he feels about eating and then cutting straight to the challenge. I think you could have drug that out just a little more. But here's the thing. Physically, after 18 days, the drink itself is going to hurt you. So the drink going to get you on the first stop, and you're going to want to eat a lot.
They did. Did you see that appetizer? I saw mozzarella. He didn't even mention the mozzarella sticks. He went to every appetizer around that plate, and I was like, say mozzarella sticks, because that's my go-to.
You know what Tiffany said? This is the appetizer. We done jumped in. It's too hard. Let me tell you something. As good as that food look, it's gonna hurt you later. It's gonna hurt you later. Because here's the thing about it is, you're not used to eating all that food. Your body's not used to all that. So you've been 18 days. Your body, you can look at the clothing that they got on. Their bodies are changing. So when you go in there and you try to eat all that food, it's like a good idea. Q had the best idea. He said, look, I'm gonna walk this off. I gotta move.
Michael adds right here, them talking about the food in front of Liz was worse than Q not picking. That was tough. She's sitting there and they're like, I didn't even eat the burger.
Yeah, Q wasn't talking to her. I mean, that's Kenzie and Tiffany over there talking about it.
Yeah, sometimes you can't control yourself because especially when, I'll say if I went on that reward, I would come back and I'd be like, oh my gosh, it was so good. Yeah, you just can't control. You just can't control yourself in that moment. Abraham, let's go ahead and talk about, before we get to more of the strategical side of things, let's go ahead and talk about the immunity challenge because there was another Rice negotiation, and this is something that we thought, they didn't get Rice the first time. Would Jeff offer it up again? He does. He said last time there was 10 people. I needed 4 people to sit out or 2 people to give up their votes. Same thing. We're not lowering it. It's still 4 people. So half of you have to sit out or 2 of you need to give up your votes. And Kenzie immediately steps up. I'll sit out. No one else was budging. Liz was kind of thinking about it. And she's like, is anyone else? Maybe. This is where I think the medical team came into play. I know a lot of times, Abraham, hold on. I know a lot of times, and 9 times out of 10, everything is planned for the season. We're doing this at this point in the game. We're doing this at this point of the game. I do not believe for a minute, and I know you're going to disagree with me, I do not believe for a minute that the plan was always to have a separate jar, a mini jar of rice that one person could have to themselves. I don't think that was a plan. I think what it was, and let us know in the comments if you agree with me or agree with Abraham, because Abraham's probably going to say it was planned out the entire season. But I think what it was the medical team saying, look, Liz is not eating anything. She has not had anything to eat. We're not going to give her food. We're not just going to come out here and say, here you go, Liz, here's rice because you need it. But this was a chance for them to be like, look, no one's stepping out. Hey, if one person, wink, 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 if one person wants to sit out, this is your rice that you could eat. I think they did that to give Liz an option to get some food. I think they kind of stepped in there.
What's that dude, Banu? You was good, Banu, on that one. Let me ask you a question. Let's play this back. Let's rewind this. Let's write that episode. When Jeff came out there and says, oh, we're going to propose this rice option again, who was the very first person that stepped out?
It was Kenzie. Kenzie was the first one.
Who was, he went down the line and asked everybody. Q said, no, I can't do it because I'm up for it. Tiffany was like,
yeah, he already knew he was probably going home. Yeah.
Charlie, they wasn't even trying to hand enough. They weren't thinking about that rice. But Kenzie stepped out and said, you know what? I feel comfortable. I don't think he might go vote for me. Have we heard Leah's name through anybody impossible being voted out in the last 2 episodes?
No, she hasn't been a target whatsoever.
We'll get to this now. So at the end of the day, his job as a host of this show is to put you in a situation where is eating more important than this challenge, winning immunity? Do you really want to get this necklace around your neck? And you got to make a decision. It ain't got nothing to do with medical. If you pass out, medical. If you're standing upright and you're competing in a challenge, you all on your own on that one. But here's the thing. She wasn't the very first person. Now let's go back to Kenzie. Kenzie, when they came out with the little jar and Jeff had to do a little coaxing, she finally stepped up and took the rice. Kenzie said, if you didn't take the rice then, I'm going to look at you side-eyed.
Yeah, because
you don't make that big old stink when Q didn't bring you on the thing. And now you had an opportunity to eat after you saying all these 18 days you can't eat nothing but air, and you didn't step out to attempt first. Had she stepped out there first, I'd have thought a little better about her. But she waited. She didn't step out there first.
Abraham, I think it's more to do less about physical. I will die on the hill of I think this was the casting producers giving that little. They can't
make you take the rice. They can't make you.
They can't make you. They're not making her take it. But this was them extending an olive branch. They did not come in. They did to Liz. They did not come. Abraham. They did not come into this season and say when there's 8 people left, we're going to do a rice negotiation and we're going to offer a little thing of rice if just one person wants. No,
you know what they said. How can we make this episode even more spicy?
This is what. So Frank agrees with me that this was definitely. And then Nikki said medical team purposely gave away rice. Frank says she was on the verge of a mental break and she dialed it back. He gets a pass for the outburst, but it alarmed producers. for
No,
sure.
They film stuff because they want to. Okay, let's go back to the episode where my man.
All they're doing, Abraham, all they're doing is just giving her. This girl has had zero to eat. Zero.
And
She can't eat the stuff on the island.
That's not. Look,
this is, the producers are just giving her.
No, they don't. No, they don't. Let me tell you something. When my man climbed up on them rocks and fell off, they could have stopped him. They could say, hey, there's no idol up there. What you doing? That is dangerous. You know what they did? Roll camera. The film crew is standing right there. They rolled the camera. He tossed and fell down there and dislocated his shoulder. Why do you think they ain't stop him?
That's totally different. That is a guy.
So you're telling me, hold on. So you're telling me that you're going to be out here climbing a slippery mountain, looking for an possible idol or whatever you're doing over there, and the producers or the camera crew can be like, hey, you can no, it's nothing up there. Don't do that. It's not safe. He tumbled down that thing and became the opening credits for the new season.
Well, yeah, totally different because that is someone exploring the island. They're not going to stop you at that. But this is literally a person who hasn't ate. They're not giving it to her. They're just giving her an option. Hey, here's one thing of rice. Wink, wink. If one person, wink, wink.
Let me help you out. There's a part of this show that you don't know. If she wanted to tap out because of food, she could have tapped out.
Well, yeah.
They're just here to make the show better by saying, okay, if we can't get 4 people to step out, maybe we're going to get one person to step out. But keep in mind, Liz didn't step out first. So Liz was still playing the game. So how was Liz not playing the game when she didn't step out first, but Kenzie steps out first? Kenzie's not complaining about eating.
I'm not talking about Kenzie. I'm just saying Liz
didn't step out first.
They planned to do this rice negotiation. That was planned, but the little jar, that's all I'm saying is they added that last minute to give Liz an opportunity. If you sit, one person can have. I think that's where I'm coming from, Abraham, is
I wouldn't say they added it.
Let's at least give her a chance to get some rice.
No, I think because anybody could have took the rice. What if Liz said, I'm going to compete, and you had Charlie take the rice?
Then Charlie gets the rice. I wonder if someone would have taken the rice for Liz. If Liz was like, I got to compete. No. Another thing that I did like about this is when Liz said, do you guys really think you can win this challenge? And everyone looked around and they're shaking their heads. This cast needs to understand their strengths, because this is the second straight time that we've done a rice negotiation and everyone looks at the challenge and they go, yeah, I can do it. And then we have like 3 people drop within a couple minutes. I'm a type of person. If I'm looking at that challenge, Abraham, I'm not strong. I don't have that much muscle. I'm sitting out. There's no reason for me to do that challenge. This cast needs to understand their strength a little bit more. There was no way. I'm sorry. I'm going to throw names out. There was no way Venus was going to win this challenge. There was no way Kenzie was going to win this challenge. There was no way Liz was going to win this challenge. There's 3 people right there.
No, you went out of order. Hold on, let's back up even further. When Q said, hey, let's get the rice the first time, and everybody dropped out, he was like, y'all wasn't competing anyway. We could have went and got the rice. Here's the thing. You're right. You're absolutely right. You should know your own limitations. Okay. Venus didn't last 30 seconds. She was gone. Ben was next. And then it was
Venus first, then it was Ben.
Then it was Kenzie, and then it was Maria. So if you really wanted 4 people to step out, you had your 4 right there already. They wasn't gonna last that long.
They need to understand when there's a challenge, it's very noble to be like, you can be honest with yourself. I'm not winning this. I will sit out. So they need to understand that a little bit more. But Abraham, in our pre-show, you guys can catch our pre-shows an hour before Survivor each and every week. It's been the hottest show that we've had on the channel. Everyone's loving the Survivor pre-show. I called it. I said, I think Charlie's going to win the immunity challenge because I don't know who could beat Charlie. Tiffany really trying to, couldn't. He wins his 2nd straight, but I'll tell you what I really loved is the editing this episode with Q, where you see I liked this slow motion.
Oh, you like that slow motion?
I liked this one. It was, you saw his bucket fall, and then you saw Kenzie get happy, and then you see It was Venus on the bench say, I'm so happy. Like everyone celebrated. And this gets us to our next topic. Obviously, we'll get to Tiffany's elimination here in just a little bit. Another blind side. But Abraham, Ben said it when they got back from the reward. He said, and I quote, the dude's a villain. Everybody knows this. He's a villain. And it really pissed Ben off. Everyone is so fed up with Q. They're ready to get him out of the game. Is he the biggest villain that we've had in this new era? Because the players just can't stand the guy.
He's not a villain, period. He just tell you exactly what he's thinking. That's not a villain. Because isn't the day, Q's like, hey, man, this ain't my control anymore. I'm just trying to move through this game and figure out what's going on. Maria is orchestrating the game. Q is sitting back saying, whatever ride I'm on, I'm going to ride it until they kick me off of it. So if you're calling him a villain because he didn't let somebody eat, you're not playing the game of survival.
It was a very villainous move.
Yeah,
very villainous move.
They wouldn't eat neither. So you didn't get no props for talking about somebody. I guarantee nobody that was eating was calling him a villain. They was strategizing. They was like, okay, when he walked off, they was like, okay, we're gonna vote him off.
They were still calling him because when he walked off, they did say, I'm not buying this.
But you know what? That's in the context of the game, which is great, saying, hey, you might have fed us, but we ain't forgot about what you did to us. So we still gonna eat. Yes, we are. But we're gonna vote you off anyway. The ones back at camp, you either trying to seem like you are part of it, because if you remember, soon as Maria came back and talked to Charlie, she was like, hey, what was y'all talking about? And was they talking about Q? Yeah, they was all talking about Q. But they're not on the same page of dealing with Q like that. So they're playing the game. Sometimes you're just petty just to be petty. And that's some of the things that happens in the game.
This is a very petty cast.
Y'all petty as hell. Because, Ben, you my guy, man. I met you in person. Good to know you, guy. But you said some old petty ass shit that I'll be like, I would stump your ass out for. Because I'm like, you were being mean for no reason. Because he's not a villain. He's direct and straightforward. And he's nice about it. He's not raising his voice. He's like, hey, look, man, if in real life I got to fire you, I got to fire you. I'm playing my game. I wanted to bring my old tribe back together. And you got to realize Maria was the only person that came and checked on his, if y'all talking about mental state of mind and all in the game, only person that went out there and said, hey, are you all right? Are you still playing? Because Maria is playing the game of Survivor. And at the end of the day, she's trying to make sure she gets the votes that she's going to need. And now we seeing who actually controlling this game. So based off the first half of the episode, Maria controls this game. Based off the second half of this episode, Maria controls this game.
Well, let's get to some of these comments really fast before we get on talking about this incredible alliance. So let's see. 110 and Never Again adds, Q, a wolf in goat's clothing. Loved how he said, my plan at Tribal. He's not just going with the flow. Kimberly adds in, Charlie should have dropped. He's the next hunter. Yeah, I mean, you could easily look at Charlie as the next challenge threat.
Yeah,
like
you need Maria to win. If Charlie had they're doing a great teamwork effort. But you need one or the other to win, period.
Yeah.
So he couldn't drop Maria, which I thought was gonna last longer. I'm applauding Tiffany. I was like, how she drop out the blue? But I understand what the pain looked like. But Charlie done painted another target on his back. Now, you got a decision to make when you got 8 players. Either put the target on your back and have a good alliance, which he does. He got a chance to get to the seat number 2 or get blindsided at 4. But they're playing a masterful game. Right now, we got people playing checkers and we got people playing chess.
Woo, that's a good line, Abraham. That might be one of your best. A few other comments here from Nikki. This episode was a breakout for Maria. Maria top 3 with Charlie and Kinsey. John adds, he does not think this cast is the smartest cast right now with some of these moves.
They're not.
We got Captain Birdseye. I had to show this. Why is Harry Potter talking to discount Mike Tyson?
What the? We have to bring him on the podcast to translate that because I didn't get that one.
I look like Harry Potter. You're discount Mike Tyson. That's
who said that, man.
Hey, you gotta laugh at yourself.
Tell us, hey, you can come on to the podcast with us. Bring him on the podcast. Send him the link. Send Randy your email. We'll bring you on the podcast right now so we can talk it out.
On that note, we are going to step away and take a really quick break. When we come back, we will talk about all of the Maria and Charlie show, how they're dominating the game, and what led to tonight's shocking fourth straight blindside. We will
let's get that guy that called us Mike Tyson and Harry Potter on the podcast.
My name is Jonah Fielko, and I'm the CEO of Bracketology.tv, fantasy sports for reality television. We offer fantasy games for shows like The Bachelor, Survivor, Big Brother, RuPaul's Drag Race, and counting. You start by creating a community. Within your community, you can create a fantasy league for each show that you want to play fantasy games for. Within the league, you can choose up to 3 of our 4 game types, and our most popular is the Advanced League. Choose a team of contestants, and depending on what they do and say during the episode, that's how your team will gain or lose points each week. We also have elimination style games like our confidence pool. This is where you choose how confident you are that each contestant will survive elimination that week. And we've also got March Madness style brackets. Come back a couple hours after the episode to check your scores and watch you climb the leaderboard. Bracketology is free to play, so grab your friends, your family, your coworkers, and head to Bracketology.tv for more info.
Survivor Now is a proud partner to Bracketology Fantasy Sports. And yeah, they have an app now. Make sure to jump in on that. We have a Bracketology competition that is ongoing right now. If you are the winner of that competition, you get a custom pop figure from Survivor China winner Todd Herzog. You get a cameo from your favorite player of this season, and you get a KD Tedesco art prize pack. So it definitely get in on that competition. It's always a good one. So Abraham, we got to talk about this. I'm
feeling my feelings about that Mike Tyson Harry Potter.
This is the Maria and Charlie show. We had another comment from earlier. I think the final 3 is going to be Q, Maria, and Charlie, with Charlie winning the game. So there's a big discussion about if Maria and Charlie make it to the end of the game together, who is going to be the winner. You said it, that they're playing it great. This is a very, very strong alliance. They compared themselves to Malcolm and Denise. And so far, Abraham, they're living up to Malcolm and Denise because they are playing an incredible game. And after this episode, I kind of sat back and I went, I think they are running circles around this entire cast, Maria and Charlie.
You know who played a bad game? Kenzie. Kenzie already lost Q. Q's gone because Q's doing his own thing right now. Tiffany was the next best thing to her because remember now, these are still tribe lies. Charlie and Maria from the same tribe.
And I mean, they still have Ben working with them. Ben voted with them tonight.
Yeah. Tiffany and Kenzie, same tribe. I'm not saying you got to bring Q back, but at the end of the day, guess what? You need at least 2 or 3. And Maria said, look, we know we got each other. That's 2. We know we got Q. That's 3. We need another 4. Let's talk to Ben. Okay. Ben's going to flow with whatever direction going to keep him from getting voted out too. But you still needed that other awkward 5th. And they said, hey, let's go to Venus. Oh, no, we're not going to Venus. We don't trust Venus. Let's try Liz and see how she acts. So here's the thing about it is Maria is calculating the game. Now, Charlie is winning immunity, but Liz is running the game. So when Charlie loses, that's when you're going to see the next phase of their game and how they maneuver through that. But next episode, whoever gets voted out next episode will dictate the last 3 that are going to be in the game. Because right there, you down to 7. Now you're going to be down to 6. You only need 4 votes, and everybody going to be scrambling. So, Kenzie, who you have? They know you want to blindside because you try to blindside your own player. So you out there. Q is the only one in the position of self and safety because Q is just like, it's whatever. It wasn't even Q's plan. Q was like, well, if they stick to my plan, it's going to be better. I was like, wait a minute. Did I look at a different episode? Because you didn't come up with no plan. You just trying to survive. So here's the thing. 3 episodes, and guess who's still playing the game? Q.
Well, I'm saying Maria. That's what I was asking about is Maria, I think, is I think she is one of the smartest players we've had in a long time. I think she's up there for the smartest player we've had in the new era in terms of game savviness. She is, you said it, she's looking down the line, but she's doing it in a way that she's not looking too far ahead. She's kind of been controlling the vote all season. Definitely the edit is showing us a little bit more of Maria in this past episode. But I remind you guys, don't forget Charlie. Charlie is here. Don't think that Charlie is just Maria's right-hand man and that's all he is. Because we keep seeing confessionals from Charlie that he's calling stuff out. He knows exactly what needs to happen. He said this episode, he said, yes, we don't want Q to win. But not only do we not want Q to win, we don't want Tiffany to win either because we want that option. So he basically said, neither one of these two. He could have easily said, as long as Q doesn't win, we're good. No, he wanted to make sure they beat both Q and Tiffany in the immunity challenge. I think this is a two-headed. I know that Kinsey is the mermaid dragon, but I think this is a two-headed dragon that is torching the competition. I seriously think they are running circles around everyone, and there's no one who could. The only person that's going to beat Charlie or Maria is if the other one turns on them. Those are the only two.
Maria posted something on her IG, said she's going to a watch party. She had on all red. She said, I might get some blood on my hand tonight. Now I know what she was talking about. She orchestrated that vote to blindside Tiffany because somebody got cold feet. Kenzie didn't want to do it. She knew that if you look 3 or 4 steps ahead, that she got to get Tiff out with the idol. Nobody worrying about Q right now. Now, Q only becomes dangerous again if he wins immunity and you got to pick somebody else that you didn't want to pick ahead of him. Other than that, right now, Q is not the most deadly person in the game. Now you got Tiffany out. Now you got the idol out. And Maria orchestrated that from the Applebee's feast to have one in the Applebee's feast and one back there at camp. Now, you couldn't control that part of it, but it happened that way. And as soon as she got back, she said, Charlie, what you got? Here's what I have. They working together. Because at the end of the day, as long as you're sitting on those last 3 benches, you got a chance to win the game. Now, Charlie's resume would say, hey, look, I won my immunity. I fought for my position here. Here's what I've done. Now, with Maria, she said, hey, I orchestrated this, which she's going to get full credit for the Tiffany vote. Now, here's the crazy thing about Survivor. You don't see the edits of your season and what people say about you until it airs. So the stuff that's being said, they didn't see it because they're not on there. They're not on that episode. So you see other stuff that's being said about you. That's why I say sometimes people just petty about stuff. So you got to take it with a grain of salt. The show is one part of your life, but your real life and when you meet people outside the show is entirely different. So the things we say about people, I'm like, the things we know about the show that others don't. So just be careful, man. You're going to Survivor. Speak your piece, but be careful about it. Because
very,
last forever.
Very, very, very good episode from Maria. Not only, you brought it up earlier, Abraham, not only the fact that she's planning ahead. I've always said that I think more players should play like this. Oh, yeah. And that's if there is someone who is clearly on the outs, don't just join everyone and go, easy vote. That is a number. And Maria got her on the Applebee's reward. It got Q to trust her. Maria was the only one that night, or at least the one that we saw, that went out there just to talk to him. She was also the one who went over when the plan was going to be Q, no ifs, buts about it, went over there. People want you out of this game because they don't think you're here to play. And Q goes, I am here to play. There's nothing I can do. There is something you can do. You can fight, and we can get the vote on Tiffany tonight. And if you look at the past couple, I've said it multiple times this episode, 4 straight blindsides. Hey. Soda, Tevin, Hunter, and today Tiffany. I don't remember the Soda one, but I can tell you the last 3, Maria and Charlie have dictated. They've kind of said, what way do we want to go here? And a big emphasis this season has been eliminating idols. And so far, Abraham, no idols have been played correctly. Hunter left with an idol, and now Tiffany has left with an idol. It has been a bad a bad season for Hidden Immunity Idol.
In Tiffany's confession, she says, I broke my own golden rule coming out here, not playing my idol and getting
And
rid
she
of
said
it.
she wanted to stretch it once more. That's exactly what Hunter was doing. You're always like, oh, if I don't play it, I save it for one more week.
You could have won. And here's the thing about it is, the only reason Maria wanted to get Tiffany out anyway, because she kind of threw the thing on her before. But ultimately, the only reason you gunning for Tiffany ahead of Q right now is because she had an idol. Had she gotten the idol, getting rid of the idol, she probably could have made it a couple more days. But here's the thing about it is, you never know. But I guarantee that idol was burning a hole in her pocket, but she kept hold of it. Hey, it was a well orchestrated episode, from the food challenge to the actually who's getting voted out to Maria. Maria played some good strategy, because she didn't went there that night to say, hey, look, we're going to need you to vote with us. She was like, hey, how are you doing? Are you still wanting to play the game? And you're right. The people at the bottom want to try to get back to the top. So pull them in. And Q was all about it. Now, here's where it was different. When Q said, hey, if they follow my plan, it's going to be something tonight. I was like, that dude, he's playing the game too, because he's like, what? I was like, what plan did he have? Because you really kind of didn't have any, but he's still presenting himself, which was good, to say, hey, if you follow my plan, because now it looks like, well, who idea was this? But it's going to be a bloody mess next week. Oh, it's going to be a bloody good mess.
Let's see. Nikki added in, Maria is very smart because she's not speaking her thoughts out loud. Yes, like Maria has this way of, when she's listening to people like speak, she kind of just sits there like, like she's a great listener. Like, if you want to be successful on Survivor, you don't have to be an outspoken person. Just go on and listen and observe. And if you do that, you're going to, we see it all the time when she's listening, and then we get a confessional where she's like, look, Q walked away. They started talking trash about him immediately. They want him out of this game. That's their number one priority. And tonight, they orchestrated the vote off of Tiffany, left with an idol, another blind side, and the only people who were not part of the vote, not Q. Q was obvious.
No,
Venus was not part of the vote. Tiffany was not part of the vote, and Kinsey was not part of the vote. Where does this leave? Where does this leave Kinsey moving forward? Because I said Kinsey was my new winner pick. She got left out of the vote. Venus, we can expect to be left out of the vote because Venus is just being carried to the end. Love you, Venus. I love you to death. But everyone wants Venus to be that third place person. Where does this leave Kinsey now? That her number one ally at one point in this game is gone. She was left out of the vote because it's kind of looking like Abraham. It looks like Siga is running this thing with Maria and Charlie together, and they've got Ben kind of being their third person. It almost looks like this is Siga's game to the end.
You know, hey, you remember Mariah?
Yeah.
There go Kinsey right there. She's not a vote for anybody right now. So if they vote her out next, oh well. Who you gonna vote out first? The person that you know is gonna throw you under the bus, or Q? Oh man, let's go ahead and get Kinsey out. You know ain't nobody gonna get the money to Q, because Q been chaotic all the time anyway. So you're not even worrying about Q. Q done fell into the background now. Kinsey, you try to vote out Tiffany, and then when we wanted to vote her out, you chose not to. But here's the thing. Here's what's really gonna throw it all in a monkey wrench everything. Now you have to play the game of Survivor. Blood has been spilled on the floor now. You've already blindsided somebody else, but you also changed the entire vote and didn't vote Q out. So you're going to have Venus over there hot about that. Well, why didn't y'all tell me I was going to vote him out? Because you didn't want to be a part of it. Now you got Kinsey over there thinking Q was going. It was like, well, why did you tell us? Because you backed out on the vote. But you know who's in a good spot? Liz.
Is Liz getting a winner's edit?
No.
Is Liz I think Liz could win this season. I do. I don't think she's going to.
Liz gonna vote herself out.
I think Liz could win this season. I will say, I don't think, here's another crazy hot take. I don't think Q's going next episode.
No,
I don't think he's going to be the next one eliminated.
Nope.
Like, I almost feel like it's going to be Kinsey, or it's going to be either Maria or Charlie if they turn against. I don't think they're turning against each other. I think they want
you still need Q. You still need Q votes, so that's still 3 votes. Ben is the odd dude right here. I don't know how that's gonna work out. But
You
let's
don't,
say
you think
Ben,
they want to vote out Venus? I think they're taking
no.
Venus to the final 3.
No, but somebody else got it. So here's Maria got 4 votes regardless. She got Q. She knows she got it. She got Q. She got Charlie. She got herself at 3. What we got? 7 players left. Ben is probably gonna side with her. So that's 4 votes. That's all you need. There's 7 players. You don't need any more votes out there. The next thing is who wins immunity. That's going to be the determining factor on who gets voted out. If Liz or Kenzie doesn't win immunity, they're at the top of my chopping block. Venus is not at the top of my chopping block. She's 3rd on the list, but the rest of them going to stick together. So those other 3 going to have to fight for it and figure out how can they save themselves. Because right now, Maria went to Ben. So Ben is going to be loyal to that until he figure out what can he do next. Well, they're going to be like, well, you didn't even tell us they was going to vote. So now you got animosity towards Ben and towards Liz because y'all didn't share the information about who you're voting for. So now we're playing the game of Survivor because everything has been shook up. So I'm looking. I can't wait till next week. Oh, you know what? God dog it.
What?
I'll be in DC next week.
I'll be in Chicago next week.
Shut down.
I don't know who's going to be running the show next week. You're going to be in DC. I'm going to be in Chicago for the Rob Has a Podcast live event. Yeah. So, yeah, I had a friend reach out to me, Abraham. I totally forgot all about it. They had an extra ticket. Thank you guys so much for letting me go with you. I love all you guys. You know who you are. But they had an extra ticket and they messaged me this morning and they said, are you still going to Rob Has a Podcast? And I was worried that it was today. If it was today, I wouldn't be able to make it. But I said, is it next week? They said, yes. And I said, I should be able to make it. They said, should. So is that a no? I said, no, I'll be there. So I kind of, it's only 3-hour drive for me.
Oh, that's not bad.
That's what has happened with the podcast, Abraham. Remember when we were starting this podcast out up super small and now we have like business trips. Now it's like, I got to go to Chicago next week.
So you know what? This is May 1st. This is it.
Yeah. This is
almost over.
Ends the end of this month. There are
21st.
I think there's 3 episodes left after this.
So but it's about to get. Well, you got to play now. In order to get to the final 3, you have to play now, because I think it's going to be a double elimination 1 episode with 2 people get voted out.
Next week we'll go from 7 to 6. The following week we'll go from 6 to 5, and then that 5's the final 5.
Okay.
Yep.
So
let's see. Spill the immunity. Our friends, our podcasting friends. I said on my show last week that Liz's marketing material right now is that she spent the summer on an island and her business still made her money. I don't think Liz wins. Hey, I wouldn't be shocked. I mean, fans would be pissed. They would be irate if Liz went on to win the season. They'd be more mad than when Erica won.
I wouldn't see why Liz would be the one that could strategize to the end. I couldn't see where Liz could convince somebody like a Ben to flip on Maria or Charlie. I just couldn't. She'd have to win an immunity challenge or something like that. I just can't see it.
Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt, Abraham. I'm sorry about that. Were you shocked at the fact that we didn't really talk about it? Were you shocked that Liz did vote for Tiffany? That had to be a tough choice. She literally said, I understand what Maria's saying. This is a smart game move. We get Tiff's idol out. It's a great opportunity to blindside Tiff because everyone believes it's going to be Q, but I just can't stand Q. She cannot stand the guy. So I got to give Liz props. She took her heart, her emotion out of the equation. She looked at it. What's the better game move? It's a bigger move to get out Tiffany now than to get out Q, who everyone doesn't like. And that's not something a lot of people can do.
No, hold on, Brandon, because this goes right back to the rice. Right back to the rice. Is she playing the game of Survivor? Yes. Because she knows, hey, if I vote for Q right now, that's a vote wasted. If I get Tiffany out with the idol, that's a gameplay. So you can't give her credit on the gameplay on her end and not give Q credit on the gameplay with her hand just because he wouldn't feed her. I mean, it's all gameplay.
I agree.
You all trying to play a game to win. I don't think Liz,
I said that I was impressed with Q's gameplay. I said that Q not picking her was.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I was on the side of I understand why Q didn't pick her. That was a great strategic move, but I don't have the power to not. I would have to take her. Abraham, if you're standing in that position, you would probably just be like, look, stop your crying. I'm not taking you.
Yeah, I probably went hard to the paint this time. On the second go round, I go hard to the paint. Hey, you can hold that down to the minimum. We know that ain't going to happen.
Spill the immunity. Venus is starting to look like an Applebee's appetizer to Liz.
I mean, but here's the thing about it is on another side, it's a great story to hear about how you end up coming on Survivor. She watched Survivor. She ate Applebee's. I think that's
hearing about her family too. We didn't even talk about that. Hearing about how she grew up poor and just, that's her favorite night of the week is to take her daughter, pick her up from yoga, and then take her to Applebee's and then take her home to watch Survivor. So this was a moment that meant a lot to her, and Liz just felt like she was robbed of that. She was robbed of a beautiful moment that she had to connect with her, back home.
Now, what I can't understand is how did they wrap all? They must have. So we fill out a lot of questionnaires and stuff about ourselves, and it had to be something in those questionnaires or something because you got to wrap this episode together with Applebee's, and it has to go with Liz, and Liz has to have an outbreak for it even to be is a great episode. You had to have all that stuff fall into play. So it's kind of good producing to get it all to fall into play, because if she doesn't have the outburst, the Applebee's doesn't mean the same. It's just that they eat Applebee's, which is cool, but it doesn't have the same effect as the meltdown before the Applebee's. So I'm like, ingenious on how they put that all together, because I'm like, you had to get part of the story beforehand. And it probably came from one of our questionnaires because we filled a gang of stuff out about ourselves and stuff in our lives and whatnot, so they can use it later on. But I'm gonna say it's going hard. Q ain't going next week. Charlie might win. Charlie and Maria, one of them have to win immunity. So that's 3 votes. Bean is.
I don't know who's going to beat Charlie. I really don't know who's going to beat Charlie that's left in the game. And don't say Q, because yes, Q won the challenge today, but he has not looked great in challenges in general.
No, but have you, when Jeff made a point to talk about how they look physically, did you look at Q?
I did not.
Go back and look at Q.
Still looking good?
No, he looked like he about to be on a struggle bus. Go back and look at him and look at his picture when he first started the game. His physicality is not the same, but I think he could beat him. Now here, but Charlie gave the whole reason why he won. He was doing elbow turns, grip strength. He said
most important thing on Survivor is grip strength.
I don't know about that one. I wasn't trying to grip strength before I got there. But
I appreciate the free advice. I'm just gonna start working on my grip strength right now.
Yeah, he prepared to play, and I knew. When I know he was gonna win, when he cranked the thing back up, I was like, oh, he's just playing.
Power move.
So he did that. So I was like, he's a winner.
Few more comments to show here before we begin to wrap things up. 110 and never again. I was shocked Tiff didn't play her idol for herself or orchestrate some situation where she plays it on someone, which I've been expecting. Yeah, it's the same thing with Hunter. They've been talking about their idols forever. And they're like, we don't want public idols. We don't want public idols. And then they get to tribal council and last minute they're like, oh, I think I can. I don't think I got to play it. I think I'm going to be okay.
Hunter could have played. He could have definitely let them vote for him and played it and got somebody else out.
Yeah.
I mean, there was
a lot of moves. It was a terrible season for idols. This is one of the worst seasons I remember for immunity idols. They just have been completely, there's been 3 in the game. Jim didn't play it, went home with it in her pocket. Oh, yeah. Hunter didn't play it, went home with it in his pocket. And now you have Tiffany didn't play. And now next week we see that they're back out looking for more idols.
Well, the good thing about it is the idols and how they found them. I thought it was a great addition to the season. The execution of said idols has been lackluster.
If at this point, if I find an idol, if I go out looking next week and I find an idol, I'm playing it immediately.
Like the apple.
And then Gene or John adds in, honestly, this was the best episode of the season. I love the look on Kenzie's face when Q survived another day. We talked about it in the pre-show, Abraham. Was this the best 3-episode period in the new era? And both of us were like, You
I didn't
can't
know
really
era.
remember. You can't remember if it was or not. But now we've had 4 straight after the 4 episodes to start the season, which sucked. We've had 4 episodes that have been incredible television. Incredible.
They've been knocking people off left and right. We'd be like, oh, you about to go.
And now you're looking at it. Is this the best new era season? And is this the best new era cast? Personally, I don't know if it's the best cast.
Last season
45 was incredible.
Yeah, it was a banger. So I'm gonna say look, this is what I'm gonna say. It lives up to the Survivor hype. This is the game that we've all looked, watched, and loved, and they play in the game of Survivor. I always want to see somebody go out there and play. Never want to see anybody give up, but I also want to see you enjoy the moment. And there are people out there, they're enjoying the moment as well. So to me, that's how you enjoy Survivor. But these blindsides becoming kind of, if somebody get blindsided next week, they're gonna get the award for the most blindside season. Who got blind? Everybody got blindsided out.
It's blindside after blindside after blindside, and that's making it really entertaining. We all know that we all absolutely love blindsides. Yeah.
Sorry. Also, this is the very first episode in Tribal Council where somebody will set their hair on fire.
Oh yeah. Hey, you don't have to worry about that, Abraham.
No, not at all. And then I ain't have no beard either. So, but I do know what the torch feels like, and I'm like, how would you? What were you doing? You weren't paying attention, really, because
if I go out there with this hair, this hair, I'm catching it on fire.
No, because you have to, when you come up, you walk up a ramp, and you have to put your torch in a holding thing. So it's kind of hard to. That means you put it in the holding thing, didn't move away from it, and turned around, and almost set your ass on fire. We trying to play old Michael Jackson on Pepsi commercial thing on that one. I was like,
that's exactly what, Abraham, let me reenact this for you. I'm literally, and I'm setting my hair on fire. I'm going to whip my hair into it. Like, I can already tell you this is going to happen.
Yeah. You're going to burn your ass up. Now, here's the true factor when you know you got blindsided. Tiffany was like, oh, hell. Oh, shit.
Her face
and changed.
Kenzie's face. I mean, Kenzie had the face at the immunity challenge, and then she had the face at Tribal Council. Like, could not believe they blindsided Tiffany over Q.
But I mean, you Tiffany. I mean, Kenzie's the one that thought up blindsiding Tiffany, which is crazy. When you said, "Hey, it's time to do it," you didn't want to do it. Here's the thing about it is, for all you future Survivor players, sometimes you gotta say that's just a bad idea and it's emotional. And guess what Liz did? That's a bad idea. It was emotional. I'm going to vote the one that got the idol out because Q ain't a threat to me and nobody wants Q around. You got to be able to temper yourself and say, okay, what's a good move strategy-wise to get me further in the game? Voting out Q ain't get you no further in the game. That's going to leave Tiffany in the game. She was, and look, you better look at the immunity challenge because she was right there. Had she won that immunity challenge, you could go after Q now. Ain't no question.
Abraham, you have 2 people this season. 2. If you're smart about it, if you're someone like Maria or Charlie who's really smart and really thinking about this game, you have 2 people you could take to the end and no one's going to vote for them. Venus
and Q.
Yeah. If you're smart, if you're really thinking about it, someone could go to the end of this game and sweep. And I don't know if anyone has a perfect game going, but I don't remember Maria getting any votes this year. Look, I don't remember Charlie getting any votes this year.
They haven't. And let me say something.
There's an easy way to go to the game and maybe have only the 3rd ever perfect game. JT had a perfect game. Cochran had a perfect game. Gabler would have had a perfect game if, oh my gosh, why can I not think of his name? Dude from Philadelphia. Got a raspy voice. Why can I not think of his name right now?
You talking about Jones?
Yeah. You know who I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, you talking about Jones from Philly with the beard.
Yeah, that's his last name, though. His first name.
I don't even call him because he got initials that I call him when
James.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, sorry, James. Yeah, I mean, if James didn't vote Cassidy, Gabler was going to have the 3rd ever perfect game. There she is.
Hey, look, I'm telling you, she rolling like she a W winner, so I ain't saying nothing.
So I mean, yeah, Gabler almost did it too. That's all I'm saying is if you haven't received any votes this season, there's a clear path to be the third ever person to have a perfect game. You take Venus to the end with you, you take Q to the end with you, and you sit next to those two at the end, you're getting every vote.
I think she takes Liz to the end. There's really right now, there's only two players right now that could get votes to win. Charlie and Marie.
I think Kenzie could get votes.
Why? What did she do?
She still has played a good game. Like she's still been a part of some blindsides.
Who?
Like, and Kenzie is just likable. Don't forget, pettiness does come into this.
Let me tell you something. Drinking that Ponderosa and pettiness is gonna come out.
Let's see. Few comments here. Spill the immunity. Q's biggest struggle is in his mind. Top athlete that doesn't perform well under stress. The fantasy answer adds in. Long-time listener, I leave to play 47 in 5 days. I will be playing my idol if I get one. Hey, if you actually are going out on 47, best of luck. And then, yes, definitely play it. And then spill the immunity. At this point, is Q really a blind side? No.
No, absolutely not. If he get, let me tell you, for the last 3 Tribal Crowns, was Q been like, Jeff, whatever happens, happens, man. If they get me, my time is over. I love what I've done. That's Q be sitting there like, oh, it's tribal over. Because
Q is not Gary. He's not strategizing. He's like, look, if they want me to be here, I'll be here. Let's get to. I think we've pretty much talked about everything. Abraham, let's show our audience what we have for the rest of the week on Survivor Now, your go-to source for U.S. international Survivor coverage. You can check out our social media at Survivor Now Podcast on Instagram, at Survivor Now Pod on X. If you're listening to this on Spotify, go ahead and leave us a rating. Helps us get out there for even more listeners on Spotify. We would preferably a 5, but whatever you feel, whatever you feel like. I think one person left us not a 5, so I think our rating right now is a 4.7 on Spotify. I'll still take a 4.7. We're still passing. And then you can check out all of our coverage of episode 10 of Survivor 46 this upcoming week on YouTube or our website, survivornowpodcast.com. So obviously that's what we're doing today. Tomorrow we have a special crew and a special start time for Survivor Social. Tegwith is away this week. She did an incredible job. Thank you, Tegwith. She did an incredible job filling in for me last week when I had to miss. She will be away this week herself. But Ollie from Got Something For You, our resident UK citizen, will be filling in with Kara to break down everything, all the social aspects that we saw on the episode tonight. And that is tomorrow at a special start time. Usually it's 9 p.m. Eastern. Tomorrow it's being moved up 2 hours. So it will be live at 7 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow night. And then on Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern time, join Jack and Will for our power ranking show, Stock Watch. They will break down which castaways are looking like the most likely to win based on the edit. They'll look at the episode's edgic. And they will also let you know which castaways might be on their way out next week. And then on Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern time, yeah, Venus went quick in that challenge. Join Phil, Ollie, and Matthew for our final recap show of the week, Got Something For You, where they will look at some of the best social media moments of the week, and they will break down the episode still by still, picture by picture, make sure they don't miss a single thing from what happened this episode. And then a special episode coming to you guys on Sunday. I'm sure everybody has heard the news that season 50 will be a returnee season. The first one in, if I'm remembering correctly, 10 seasons. Yeah, it's the first one in 10 seasons that we've had a full cast of returnees. So myself and some other analysts from Survivor Now will break down who realistically will probably come back, who will get that call to return to Fiji. We will draft an entire cast 18 castaways to fill our season 50 predictions. Abraham was telling me earlier, do more than 18.
I might pop in. Yeah, I might pop in to regulate that.
Do more than 18 people. We will be talking about more than just 18, but we're going to try to figure out the 18 most likely players to return. You guys see Rick Devens right here. I would bet a lot of money that Rick Devens is back on Survivor for season 50, given his relationship with Jeff Probst. And so that will be Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern time. A very, very special episode. Abraham, neither one of us will be here next week. I don't know what we're going to do.
We're gonna live the dream. We're gonna live the dream. You're gonna go live. You're gonna go live a couple times from
Chicago. I'll be at the Rob Has a Podcast event.
You know what? Because
me and Rob might actually meet. Look at that
podcast. I'm pretty sure Rob's gonna be there.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Rob and I have never met. I mean, we met on social media. He knows who Survivor Now is, but we've never met.
I've never been in the same place at the same time with him. So I don't even know where he lives at. I know he doesn't live in New York.
He's in New York, I think.
Is he?
Look at this. I might reach out to you guys. Spill the Immunity, another podcast. Great people. Happy to help out next week if needed.
I like their logo.
Yeah, I do. I like the name too. Spill the Immunity. That's very creative. Like, I really do like that name. Yeah, I might be in contact with you. And then last thing I got to say, it is May. It's gonna be May. And that means new spring apparel. You can check out our Survivor Now shop. I don't know if you guys knew this. We have a full shop now. Go to survivornowpodcast.com and you can go straight to our site and see all of our apparel options. Rep your favorite podcasts out in the everyday world. Abraham, I will never, it'll never set in how far we've come as a show. We had a lot of new viewers today. The most live viewers we've ever had on a recap show. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Thank you.
We wouldn't be able to do what we do without you, except for that dude that said Harry Potter and Mike Tyson, except for that person.
I get that all the time. Look, Abraham, when you're doing media, when you're doing entertainment, you're going to have some haters. And you know what I usually get called when people don't agree with me? You got to have a backbone. You got to be able to take the hate. Usually people go, who the hell is this kid? This kid doesn't even know what he's talking about. The fact I'm 26 years old and I'm still being called a kid, I'll take it. A fountain of youth, baby.
For that Harry Potter, Mike Tyson, send your email over to Randy to the podcast. And the next episode that we're back on, we'll gladly bring you on, and you can talk with us about the episode. Now we don't see your email. We still want your subscription, but if we don't see your email, we know that you wasn't ready.
Hey, I would take it as a compliment. Harry Potter's a good-looking dude. Mike Tyson's a good-looking.
Mike Tyson's not broke either.
I'll leave you with this, Nikki. Thank you so much for this comment. Thank you for your great commentary, and thank you guys for tuning in. We'll catch you next week, guys. Or actually, we won't. We won't be here next week, but we'll catch you in a couple of weeks. Make sure to check out the rest of our shows. Head over to survivornowpodcast.com.